welcome back to Voice of the Void. It's been quite some time for me now because life, but I'm happy to be back. Back in action. Whoop-de-doo. Right. Why are you beeping? You have thing in you. Got it.
Entry 1. I don't know if this is going to get through to anyone. If it does, it's probably because they wanted it to. In which case, I'm really sorry. Maybe they just don't even care. Maybe it doesn't matter because there's nothing we can do. If you're anything like me, you've seen some weird new stuff around town. And more importantly, you've realized it and you've remembered it, while everyone else goes about their day in ignorant bliss. I don't know how far it goes, but so far, nobody has shown any capacity to register what I'm saying. I can spam
There
it
we
up
go.
and down the internet and I don't get one relevant response. Nothing. I've considered that I might just be crazy, but even crazy people can get some sort of reaction. Someone will at least try to humor them, calm them down. I've tried doctors, police, professors. They all just stare off into space when I start to describe this stuff.
There we go.
Like something is actively blocking the exchange of information. My biggest fear isn't even that I'm all alone. My biggest fear is that I might still only perceive bits and pieces of something bigger. Or worse, that my capacity to perceive all this is shrinking. I can write it down, I can record every last detail, but it's not going to matter if I become like everyone else. I could wake up tomorrow and look at my journal entries and only see a pile of mysterious cake recipes. Who the hell knows? The first thing I ever saw was one of the pickup windows. It was just like any other you might see at a fast food place. But it was right on the side of my own hat.
Let's see. Run a quick ping. Okay, they are looking good. Okay. Real quick okay, Transformers looking good. And yeah, tower.
I couldn't tell who or what was actually handing out the food, or where it was coming from. I could only see
Right then.
blackness. At least, that's how I remember it. Maybe I saw something else, but it's gone now. God. And it was only the beginning. All the restaurants in
Right.
town, the real ones anyway, are typically deserted. Employees still show up to some of them, but they don't even realize that no customers are stopping in. Some of them even host new windows, parasitically siphoning off all their business.
Mm. Right. Right. I've done this. I finished the head for the torso. Gonna need this with some electronics, metal, plastic, good quality camera. Ooh.
Just after I'd looked away, the There's even people sucking down that stuff on live television. Talking heads come back from commercial licking blood and grease off their hands. The weather lady shows up looking like an extra from a slasher movie. Red stains increasingly thick on a blouse. I don't think she's changed in weeks. Nobody else cares. Nobody thinks anything is odd or new or different. Nobody but me. My appetite for meat is thoroughly dead, to say the least. I don't think I could ever trust it again. But I've noticed non-meat products are growing steadily rarer. Fruits and vegetables are sitting out longer.
No, we have a security camera,
A lot
video
of things
camera.
are just getting phased out to make room for all the new items. I shouldn't have to say this if you could already read and comprehend this far, but for the love of God, don't eat it. Don't taste it, don't touch it. Try not to even smell it. The more people eat, the less they act like themselves. The funnier they talk. If you know something's up but you can't see what I'm seeing, I advise you to stick to cereal. I haven't found anything fishy about any of the cereal yet. I can't begin to postulate what's behind it all. Aliens, terrorists, Illuminati reptiloids? I could believe near anything at this point. Entry 2. The ads are everywhere. Flyers, neon signs, billboards. All of them written in some weird foreign language I can't find any match for. Plastered with goofy artwork of bug-eyed hot dogs and steaks, and less identifiable things. People stop and stare at them compulsively, pupils dilating while their clouded mind registers God only knows. A lot of people say the same
Error.
exact thing, in the same
It
exact
cost me
tone and rhythm,
120.
every single time. That sounds good enough to eat.
I could
I
try
hear it
go
100
for
times
the
a day, when I risk going out
orange.
anyway. Then they'll head straight to one of the impossible windows, the infected supermarkets,
It's cost
the rapidly
less.
multiplying vending machines, or one of the green
Since
doors.
I'm gonna need more parts.
Awful.
Plastic, metal. I'll have the parts. Plastic, metal, electronics. Let's see. 2-piece electronic. One metal. 3 plastic. Swear I had more. I can always make some more. Let's see. Oh. God damn it. Uh, there you are. Hmm. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Huh. There we go. Now I got everything for the torso except the camera.
I assumed I could get away with ignoring it like everyone else, until it finally hobbled its way down the opposite aisle and crossed my direct line of sight. It froze there. The blank, smooth egg face turned directly towards me. I don't remember the sprint home, but I do remember it was the dead of night when I exploded out of that ugly, greasy green door. It couldn't have been later than noon when I first entered, and I couldn't have been ogling the horrors therein for more than 40 minutes from my perspective. I don't know if anything followed me, but I barricaded myself in my bedroom that night, just to be safe. The doors and windows are everywhere. If you can read this, only go out when you must, and don't go anywhere new. It might be newer than you think. Entry 3. They used to be people. The eggheads.
Oh,
I've seen it a lot in the week since the buffet.
signal.
Not everybody shows
Oh,
the
it's
signs, but
weak.
some people, the ones who get hooked the
not
hardest on
worth
that
it.
sick, foreign meat slop, only seem to gain weight from the neck up. Hair falls out. The first thing to disappear are the eyes. Then the mouth seals shut, and the whole head smooths over. They start to wander aimlessly, invisible to everyone else, forgotten by friends and loved ones. They do nothing but mumble, groping their arms around like they're hunting for their lost eyes. I killed one today. I'd spent my afternoon scrounging around town for normal things to eat, an increasingly challenging task. Avoiding the overtly weird stuff is only the half of it. I have to be careful for anything that boasts a new formula or improved flavor. Sometimes I just have to scan the package for the hamburger logo, or check the ingredients for some new gibberish like extracted bone jellies, or natural life parts. Some of the untainted stuff is skipping the shelves and going straight into dumpsters, which I'd been digging through when the egghead got the jump on me, cornering me in a one-way alley between a Safeway and a Walgreens. Its head was bigger than most, an impossibly bloated globe that almost brushed the walls on both sides. I don't know how its feeble, chalky body could have held it up. It was barely more than a skeleton, thin-skinned, shrink-wrapped. It was barely more than a skeleton, thin-skinned, shrink-wrapped tightly to its bones. All that remained of its former identity was a black dress tie, swaying like a pendulum from its pencil-thin neck. Its incoherent mumbling sounded at once panicked, apologetic, and threatening as it staggered towards me, limbs outstretched. I had nothing to defend myself with but a bag of stale bread and a warm can of Coke. I screamed at it, told it I didn't know what it wanted, that there wasn't anything I could do, but it just kept coming, mumbling. The moment my back hit the wall behind me, I snapped. I grabbed the nearest garbage can lid and swung with all my strength, slamming it straight into that fat, bulbous face like a battle axe. It felt like striking a huge, taut basketball. The mumbling grew more frantic, more confused as the thing stumbled backward, gravity tugging at its awkward cranium, arms whirling cartoonishly as it fought to regain its center of balance. It was like some bent slapstick routine, like somebody struggling not to drop a wedding cake. I charged, screaming like a banshee as I struck again, and the thing finally toppled, slowly, like it was filled with air. As it hit the ground, that massive noggin exploded like a swollen tick. With a wet splash, pinkish gore and hunks of rubbery white flesh gushed out of the alley and into the street. For one terrifying moment, I wondered how the scene would look to the rest of the world. If they'd just see some random, senseless act of murder against a completely normal, innocent human being.
Bravo, Lima.
The people already nonchalantly stepping over the scattered piles of gore would have eased my mind, if it weren't for what happened next. One of those piles started moving. Something about the size of a baby was squirming out from the pulverized sludge. A fat, slightly oblong shape with a lot of thin, wriggling appendages underneath, still too thick with gore for me to make out any details. It was still between me and freedom, and I could only watch in a confused stupor as it unfurled a pair of big, transparent fins and abruptly took flight, buzzing off into the afternoon sky like a bloated, fleshy bumblebee. It thankfully never seemed to notice or care about me. Funny how I settled on eggheads. I just thought they looked like eggs. I didn't know they literally were. A woman stopped dead in the crosswalk to smile and wave at the thing as it disappeared into the skyline, then continued on her way with only a momentary delay. There are flies that grow inside the heads of ants who keep on moving even after their brains are eaten. It all makes so much sense. Maybe they're from space. Maybe they're from hell. Maybe they've always been here, toppling one species, one civilization after another. Who knows? They feed us so we can feed them. So they have a nice warm body to keep them safe and nourished until they don't need us anymore. We're just a herd of cattle, oblivious to our position in life as we're fattened up and slaughtered by something that looms just above our understanding of the natural order. I don't know why I can see them, why I can see what they're feeding us. I'm like a cow who grasps exactly what goes on in the slaughterhouse, and I can't stop thinking about what a cow could ever hope to accomplish with that knowledge.
I'm
Your guess is as
gonna
good as mine.
about doing this immediately.
Entry 4. Today,
Gonna waste any time. Then I'm gonna have to waste some time because I need to walk. Or I have to walk. Right. Of course I forgot to do that.
pink goop dribbling out like raw yolk. It collapsed against a minivan and slumped limp.
No, it was. Gonna run a ping just to be safe. Beep beep. Beep boop. Beep beep boop. Boop beep boop. Beep beep. A boop boop beep. Boop. A ba doot doot doot.
I came close to giving up, waiting for the thing to collect itself every 10 to 15.
Was some plastic scrap out here. Alright. A nice morning jog. There we go. So nice and calm. It's horrifying. Because on a normal occasion, well, I'd expect some sort of activity. So the fact that there's nothing is actually more worrisome. There's nothing. The fact that nothing's happening, it feels way worse than if there were something. Because that means something could sneak up on me. And I wouldn't know it until it was too late. Which is not fun. I could take my camera from up there. If I really want to save on money. Heh. Who's the dumbass that spilled all this blood? Looks in the mirror. I'm the dumbass. Right then. Last but not least. Oh, I forgot. Bravo. Bravo. Right. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. There we go. It's not even 5 in the morning. Already gotten all this done. I have the signals already waiting for me back at base. And I have a lot of free time. And I'm back home.
But how casually the thought had come. I was growing too used to this. uncomfortably comfortable. The Susian slaughterhouse offered no shortage of grotesque spectacles. Rivers of meat slush oozed their way along metallic chutes as wide as city streets, putrescent corpses bobbing sluggishly in the current, and sometimes against it. Towering circular saws loomed like macabre Ferris wheels, chewing their way through slabs of solid, fresh meat that could have fed whole towns. What living thing could even have that much flesh on it? A steady splattering turned out to be a blender the size of a small house. Literally just a scaled-up household blender. It even had a giant-sized dial, albeit with only one labeled setting. Excite. I suppose you could describe the endless truckloads of live white mice pouring into it as excited in a sense. I passed bubbling lakes of entrails, fermenting tanks of gasping fish heads, mountains of broken, bloodied bone. An endless procession of meat hooks ferried a bizarre menagerie of carcasses along a tangled railway system, from skinned cattle to things I doubt you would have found in any textbook. There were insect-like forms as big as a man, tentacled masses dribbling oddly colored ichor, and something I can only describe as a hairy swordfish. Their cargo was so twisted it was some time before I even noticed what was wrong with the meat hooks themselves. They had no wheels, but clung to their rails by metallic, spider-like legs, tip-tapping along with blinding speed. The further I advanced, the louder the wet, slimy flapping of the alien flock. More and more streams were converging into a single mass migration, their collective wings nearly drowning out the buzzing, grinding, and splattering of the factory. I still wasn't sure what I was looking for, but I knew I was getting closer. Entry 5.2. I had ascended 6 levels from my starting point
I
when
already
I had my
have
first run-in
these
with
two.
non-brainfly life.
So
My mind almost tried to brush it off as a rat at first. A tiny white shape scurrying in my peripheral vision.
for I need right that's well, but the arms. I need 2 elbow knee joints, 4 right 8 ball joints, and 4 elbow slash knee joints. So I need to order 6
It didn't look dangerous, but it
ball
could have breathed
joints
fire for all I knew.
and a 4.
I cautiously
Yeah.
raised my shovel and took a step back, not wanting to arouse any aggression, and the diminutive imp jerked into motion. In an instant, it crammed the meat into one of its empty eye holes
Yeah,
and took a flying leap off the catwalk, landing
that
with a
should be
soft,
enough.
wet splat on a lower level and scampering off into the darkness. From that point on, the tiny creatures seemed to be everywhere. I'd catch them watching me from around the corner.
I'm just gonna go ahead and climb up and join my good camera since I already have it. I don't think I need to waste money on buying myself a new one. After this, I'll just look down. After this, I'm pretty sure I'll just need the radioactive capsule and a secondary Kerfer to harvest parts from. Oh, I do not like heights. Okay, not. Okay. Before I do anything else, I'm gonna grab myself a cup of coffee.
Fascination, nor did I immediately grasp the significance of a metallic sound from behind me. The sound
And
like a
another one.
gate being shut. My brain mulled over the thought for a few more moments before I wheeled.
Then take a second to clean this place up. There we go. And bye bye to you. Up. Two metal, one electronic. Let's see. One. Two. One. For plastic. I know I have some plastic laying out front. Any other plastic scrap out here? No. Damn it. One more piece of plastic scrap. Ah. Knew I'd find another piece. What's the difference between the arms and legs? Ah. The electronic count. Right then.
I was living my own video game. This self-important high was cut short on about the 15th level, when the first real wrench was thrown into my hit things with a shovel strategy. The thing blocking my path was not made of meat, not on the outside at least. It appeared to be made entirely of iron, rugged and nearly black. A torso like a department store mannequin stood atop 3 jointed, knobbly legs, and its single arm terminated in a pair of jagged tongues, periodically clacking shut. The oversized head resembled some sort of huge pot or boiler, with a pair of cartoonish, painted-on eyes. An orange-yellow glow could be seen through its many cracks and vents. I didn't suspect there was much a shovel could do to this one, and it neither backed off nor approached. It simply stood there, waiting, daring me to make a move. I could see a dense river of meat bodies surging along the path only 3 levels below, making the same slow spiral around the tower I was. Fragile or not, there was no way I could keep their numbers at bay forever. I wondered if I'd be taken alive. A dozen images flashed through my mind. The eggheads, the things I'd seen here, things I'd seen in PETA propaganda videos. Any of them could be my fate. Let's just talk about this, Sonny Mom. The voice snapped me back to reality, if you could call this a reality. It had come from in front of me, from the robot cook or whatever it was. What? It spoke again. It doesn't have to be this way, Missy George. Besides its mangled grasp of pronouns, it spoke English with remarkable clarity. Its voice was soft and feminine, with just a slight metallic quality. "I'm sorry," was all I could manage, still dazed. "We can put you right back where you belong, little thingy doc. We can even fix you up like the rest. You'll never know." I knew exactly what it was talking about. The brainwashing. As far as I knew, I was making first contact with a non-human intelligence, and I had a billion questions about what they were doing to us, where they came from, what else was out there in the universe or multiverse or whatever we might be living in. Only one thing actually came out. Screw yourselves. It sighed a hollow metal sigh, a little smoke escaping from its face vent. It seemed to sink a little at my response. "If that's how you want it, whatchamawazzle." It rose threateningly on its 3 legs, and I realized what it reminded me of. A barbecue grill. In the blink of an eye, its clawed arm shot out,
Crying out
clamped around the
loud.
handle to my precious shovel, effortlessly tearing it from my grip and dropping it to the walkway. It shot out again, and this time got me by the neck. It slammed me to the ground, taking apparent care not to choke me just yet, but at least cause considerable pain. Its legs clanged noisily as it positioned itself directly over me and planted its metal rear directly onto my stomach, pinning me down even tighter. Lines of black grease began to roll down the thing's artificial face, sizzling furiously. I screamed weakly through the creature's grasp when a single tiny droplet met the exposed skin of my arm. It felt like being branded. The monster giggled. Tee-hee-hee-hee. It spoke out the laughter, like it was reading from a bad script. If its eyes had been real, it would have been looking directly into mine, and if it had lips, I'm sure they would be smiling. It bent forward, the grease now cascading in a thick curtain, threatening any moment to start raining in hissing streams onto my exposed face. The claw around my neck tightened, finally pinching shut my airways. It was going to burn my eyes out while it strangled me to death. I let go the thing's arm to shield my face as best I could, wishing I'd had the foresight to be wearing heavier grade gloves. As I awaited the torrent of boiling grease, the thing's giggling reaching a fever pitch. Hee ha ha hee. It stopped. The grease didn't come. Removing my hands from my eyes, I saw that the monster's head had turned away from me. You! It shrieked. I couldn't tell what it was looking at until it unexpectedly grasped on my neck and lurched to its feet. I could see small white shapes out the corner of my eyes. Ugh, gross, gross, gross! It wailed like a child as the rubbery hobgoblins scrambled up its metal body, like boneless gecko lizards. It started to stumble about, trying its best to pick off the teeming pests with its single arm. They slipped through the claw like jelly. I wasn't sure how long it would be distracted, and I dove for my shovel before teetering painfully to my feet. I could see the swelling legion of meat just one level below. Vile things. Vile. They're in my vents. I was almost too fascinated to act.
Uh, uh-huh. So that just happened. Thanks a lot, universe. Shut my power out as well. Thankfully it happened when it did. Would have been worse if it happened later in the day. Could have been way, way worse. universe just couldn't help itself, could it? Just had to throw a curveball at me all of a sudden. Throwing around everything that I had. Horrible timing as always. Oh. Calling the drone. There we go. Where is my notebook? There's my notebook. No. Dude. The hell is that? Oh my god. Uh I thought I was hearing something. And that's a lot of pipes. Wow. Just wow. There's really nothing else I can say except wow. I should took a picture. Fuck. Still can't save. Okay, it's just a purple flower. Oh, fuck. Now. Is it coming back? I swear I'm still hearing it. What the hell? Boys back at the office are gonna think I'm delusional. So this was done. And I can save now. Hooray. Now then, what I'm gonna do is... Yeah. Get this one and tear it apart. Piece by piece. For that, I'll get myself something to eat. Pretty sure I left can opener in here. Nope. Huh. I'm just gonna yoink and Marie from here. Silly little thing. Too bad I'm tearing it apart. You tell me I can't? Tell me I got this thing for... Whoa. Huh. Sorry, Mike, you're getting replaced. This is now, I'm naming this one Mike. Sorry, original Mike. Right then. I become paranoid as absolute hell now. Please police what a glutton I've become. Where did I leave my can opener? Wait. There you are. Enough for another cup of coffee. Too much coffee. Guess I actually have to sleep for once. What? Uh-huh.
The hobgoblins had pried the lid off that rusty grill head, exposing an oily,
Well-
blackened little form underneath. It was too tangled and burnt to make out, but I could see various limbs waving frantically
As
to
always,
keep the gremlin things
I
at
hope
bay.
you enjoyed,
I raised the shovel,
and I'll see you
prepared to
guys
strike.
in the next one.
All at once, the little creatures snapped their heads in my direction and dropped like flies from the